Okay.
She said it was one person, but I'm not getting on y'all because y'all had like 20 girlfriends.
Who, you? 20 girlfriends? Oh my God. Wait, what did you say?
Well, you know what? My thought was when he said it, I'm shocked. I'm like, your whole thought process is that I went down and I want to tear everyone else down.
Why would you just let him say that though?
Because it's his mouth, he can say whatever he want to say.
I cannot believe this conversation. I don't know.
If I hear it again, that means there's some truth in it.
When my integrity is, when it's time, my integrity will stand it. It'll stand the test.
The flashing cameras. The heavy silence before an explosion. The energy in that room was like fire waiting for gasoline. And when Marsau Scott finally snapped at Martell Holt and Destiny Payton, it wasn't just another reality TV spat, it was years of built-up tension, betrayal, and hidden truths bursting into the open. Fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville knew things had been messy before, but this was a new level of chaos. Because Marsau didn't just call Martell out, he exposed cracks in friendships, loyalty, and trust that had been rotting beneath the surface for a long, long time. And the way Destiny Payton's name got caught up in all of this? Well, let's just say the silence she's kept for months finally came back to haunt her.
Marsau did an interview out here saying, I'm like, why would this dude even fix his mouth to say something about my charge? So what's the problem with you then?
Every time he opens his mouth to say something about Marsau, he gonna be talking about Martell.
I never say about you. What you
about
talking about?
Marsau knows about Martell. I'm telling you right now, I don't have no respect for you.
Okay, you a bitch ass. It's like dude code, and it's like we together. I'm not saying nothing about it.
We've never been together.
Where the pictures at, Martell? Let me see.
Cheers to my boy. Go ahead and say your shit.
Keep going, big fella. Keep going, big fella.
I'm done. Hold on.
Because when Marsau raised his voice, he wasn't only speaking for himself, he was speaking the words so many viewers had been shouting at their screens. But how did we get here? How did Marsau, who once stood by Martell, become his loudest critic? And why was Destiny suddenly in the line of fire? To really understand Marsau's explosive moment, we need to rewind. Because this wasn't just one argument. This was the breaking point of years of betrayal, rumors, and games that had gone way too far. Martell Holt has always been a name tied to controversy.
I've had enough.
See, that's how I feel about y'all.
No, you started it.
Did you say I started it,
The
Martell?
whole thing.
Oh
From the
my
beginning.
God.
Man, you seem a little hostile.
Talking to me like
Ooh.
that. I would never come for you if you didn't come for me or mine.
Take that little mouth.
Don't.
From his public divorce from Melody Sherry to the endless rumors about side relationships and business betrayals, Martell has built a reputation that follows him everywhere he goes. He's charming, smooth-talking, and knows how to flip situations in his favor. But at the same time, he has a history of pushing people too far, leaving broken trust in his wake. And while Martell has often thrived off the attention, whether it's good or bad, not everyone around him was willing to keep cleaning up his mess. Destiny Payton, on the other hand, came onto the show with her own set of challenges. She was dealing with a painful divorce, trying to build her business, and navigating life as a single mom.
I have a high opinion of the business that I'm in. I sell, I'm telling you right now.
At first, she was seen as a strong woman trying to find her footing. But over time, her bond with Martell started raising eyebrows. The two seemed closer than just friends. Their chemistry, their late-night talks, the way Martell joked about her family, all of it fed into the rumors that something more might be going on between them. And instead of shutting the whispers down, Destiny's silence only added fuel to the fire. For fans, it was frustrating. Every time people asked questions, Destiny would dodge them. Every time rumors picked up, Martell would crack a joke instead of clearing things up. And while this might have been entertaining for some viewers, for others, especially the cast, it was toxic. Because in a group where trust is already fragile, Martell and Destiny's secretive bond became a storm cloud hanging over everything. And Marsau Scott? He noticed. For years, Marsau had been tied to Martell in more ways than one. They weren't just castmates, they were friends, business partners, and at times, allies when the cameras stopped rolling. But with every scandal Martell brought, Marsau found himself dragged into the mud, whether he wanted it or not. The whispers about Martell's behavior often spilled over onto Marsau, and that was something he couldn't ignore forever. Especially not when his wife, Tisha, kept ending up in the crossfire. Marsau has always been the type to keep his cool. He jokes, he deflects, he plays the role of the businessman who would rather sip his drink than jump into drama. But even the calmest person has a limit. And with Martell's reckless behavior and Destiny's refusal to speak up, Marsau's patience finally cracked. The blow-up didn't come out of nowhere. For weeks, tension had been building. Martell's comments about Destiny's personal life, his shady remarks about other cast members, and his refusal to take accountability left everyone on edge. And when fans noticed how Destiny and Martell seemed to protect each other more than anyone else, suspicions grew louder. But here's the twist: what nobody expected was Marsau stepping into the spotlight, not to defend his friend, but to call him out in front of everyone. And when Marsau goes off, he doesn't hold back. He doesn't just attack the surface issues. He digs deep, pulling out every crack and every flaw, laying it bare for the world to see. In that heated moment, Marsau let years of frustration pour out. He called Martell out for his games, the way he uses rumors to stay relevant, the way he keeps people guessing while never giving straight answers. He exposed the pattern that so many fans had already noticed: Martell thrives on chaos, and anyone close to him eventually gets burned. And then came Destiny. Marsau's words didn't just hover around Martell. They landed on Destiny too. Because her silence, her refusal to clear the air, had left the entire group drowning in suspicion. Marsau didn't accuse her outright, but his frustration was clear: by not speaking up, she was part of the problem. She was allowing Martell's chaos to grow, and in doing so, she was making herself look guilty. The room was silent. The tension was thick. And in that silence, you could feel the shift. Marsau wasn't just another castmate getting caught up in the drama, he was drawing a line in the sand. He was telling Martell and Destiny, enough is enough. What makes this moment so powerful is that it wasn't just about rumors of a friendship or a fling. It was about something much bigger: loyalty, trust, and respect. Marsau had stood by Martell for years, even when it wasn't easy. He had laughed off accusations, defended him in the face of scandal, and tried to keep their friendship intact. But when it became clear that Martell's actions weren't just hurting himself, they were pulling everyone else down, Marsau had to make a choice. And that choice was simple: protect his family, his wife, and his own name, even if it meant turning his back on Martell. For Destiny, the impact was just as heavy. Because in that moment, she wasn't just a bystander. She was part of the storm. And the fact that she refused to defend herself, to deny or confirm anything, made Marsau's words hit even harder. Fans immediately reacted. Some praised Marsau, saying he finally said what everyone else was too afraid to admit. Others accused him of being hypocritical, pointing out that Marsau himself has faced rumors of infidelity. But even those critics couldn't deny one thing: Marsau's outburst was a turning point. It changed the dynamics of the show, forcing everyone to pick sides and leaving Martell and Destiny under a microscope like never before. And now, the question hangs in the air: where do they go from here? Can Martell repair his friendship with Marsau, or has too much damage been done? Will Destiny finally break her silence, or will she continue to let rumors speak for her? One thing is certain: after Marsau went off, nothing will ever be the same again. Because in reality TV, words have power. And when those words come from someone like Marsau Scott, someone who rarely loses his cool, you know they carry weight. His message was clear: loyalty isn't just a word, it's an action. And when that loyalty is broken, there's no going back. The cameras may stop rolling. The lights may fade. But the cracks left behind from that confrontation? They'll echo long after. And fans are already bracing themselves for the next chapter. When the dust finally settled after Marsau's fiery outburst, the energy in that room was different. Everyone felt it. This wasn't just another argument that would fade away by the next episode. It was bigger than that. It was a shift, a real breaking point that drew a line between the past and the future of these relationships. And while Marsau may have been the one raising his voice, the impact of what he said spread far beyond that single moment. Fans took to social media immediately, and the reactions were overwhelming. Some viewers felt like Marsau had been holding this in for far too long and that he finally exploded because he couldn't sit back and watch Martell destroy everything around him anymore. One fan wrote, "Marsau just said what the rest of us have been screaming at the TV for months. Martell thrives on chaos, and destiny lets him." Another person commented, "This was the wake-up call the cast needed." Marsau drew a line, and it's about time someone did. But not everyone agreed. For every person who praised Marsau, there were others calling him out. Some people argued that Marsau had no right to judge Martell when he himself has faced years of whispers about cheating. A fan wrote, "Let's not act like Marsau is a saint. He's just trying to make himself look good while dragging Martell." Another added, "Marsau talks about loyalty, but where was that loyalty when Tisha was crying about those rumors? He's no better." And that's where things get complicated. Because Marsau's move wasn't just about Martell and destiny. It was also about protecting his own name. By going after Martell publicly, he shifted the focus. Instead of people talking about Marsau's alleged secrets, they were now debating Martell's patterns of chaos and destiny's silence. It was a calculated move, but also an emotional one. And that's why it hit so hard. For Martell, the blow was personal. This wasn't just a castmate checking him. This was a man he once called a friend, someone he had laughed with, worked with, and trusted, now standing in front of cameras saying he could no longer stand by him. That betrayal cuts deep, especially for a man like Martell who has already lost so many relationships because of his own choices. Melody Sherry walked away. The trust of his family is fractured. And now, one of the last friendships he had on the show is hanging by a thread. Behind the scenes, the cast has also been shaken. Marsau's decision to go public with his frustrations forces everyone to choose sides. Some may continue to stand by Martell, loyal to the bond they once shared. Others may distance themselves, not wanting to get caught up in his storm. And then there's Destiny, who now finds herself more isolated than ever. If she thought keeping quiet would protect her, she might be realizing that silence can be just as dangerous as words. So what lesson can we take from all this? Maybe it's that loyalty isn't about standing by someone no matter what. It's about knowing when to step back, when to protect yourself and your family from someone else's destruction. Marsau's explosion was messy, it was dramatic, and it was far from perfect. But it was also raw, honest, and necessary. It forced a conversation that had been avoided for far too long. And in the end, that's what makes this moment unforgettable. Not just the shouting, not just the shock, but the truth that finally came spilling out after years of silence. Marsau made it clear that he refuses to let Martell's chaos consume him, and in doing so, he set the stage for a whole new chapter in this saga. The fans are watching. The cast is divided. And the story isn't over. If anything, it's just beginning. Because when Marsau Scott went off on Martell Holt and Destiny Payton, he didn't just start an argument, he lit a fire that will burn through every episode to come. And the only question now is, who will get burned next?